Okay. So just a quick recap. Arjuna as asked Krishna, why you are asking me to fight? You also talked about Jnana Yoga, and the benefits of Jnana Yoga, and you also talked about self-realized souls, who are always in peace. But this war looks like it's not peace. It is not related to peace. It's a violence. Why you are forcing me to fight? And then Krishna wanted to clarify Arjuna. And Krishna thought that Arjuna might have been confused. So he says, hey Arjuna, there are two types of yogas. One is Jnana Yoga, where people, Jnana means knowledge. So they understand this material world is more of entanglement. Whatever you do, you won't get happiness. You'll get happiness and distress back and forth. And based on your karma, and there are a lot of things. And they think that best thing is, to surrender to the Lord. Best thing is understanding the entanglement with this material world, they go to the forest. And Krishna clearly said, Arjuna, this is not for you. And he said, there is another yoga called Karma Yoga, where one works without attachment. And Krishna said, you do it for me, Arjuna. That's what he says. And Krishna talked about do it. It took the level to the next level, stating, um, you do it without attachment. At the same time, you also offer it to me. And for some reason, Krishna might have thought, and if I say offer it to me, people may not, maybe that level, Krishna consciousness is the highest level of bhakti. In the subsequent chapters, Krishna will clearly say, who is the boss. And he doesn't have to shame, not shame, he doesn't feel shy to say, because if a CEO comes to our place and if he says, I'm a CEO, it is not boasting or anything. It's a fact. Like what Krishna says, you know, the high intelligent people will pray to me. When intelligence goes down and down, people will pray to different gods. They may be praying demigods, and below that they may be praying to Bhutas or they say Pisasu Bhuta, and they may also pray to uh, other types of sometimes people will pray to stones or anything. In some cities in India, you'll find that they will also pray to milestones, right? So when the intelligence goes down and down, people pray to different types of worships. But the highest is my worship, right? Krishna says, that's fine. If you don't pray to me, if you are comfortable with the demigods, you go and worship with them. Indirectly, they get it from me and then give it to you. That's what Krishna will say in the subsequent chapters. And Krishna says, if you're not at that level, at least pray to the demigods. And demigods, they are the universal government, under me. And they give you, rain. They help you get the crops, and they give sunshine. We have moon for the flowers and fruits and everything. And you at least bow your head towards them. And then Krishna said, even after doing all this, if you think that you're matured and you are in a position to give up this place and go to forest, even then you should not do it. So by worshipping demigods and everything, and you are slowly getting matured, and you are in a position that you can detach everything. But Krishna says, don't detach even at that time. You should still do your duty so that you set up a role model. Like Janaka Maharaj, he was called as Raja Rishi. He's a self-realized soul, but he still worked to set an example. And Krishna also explained about himself. I don't have anything to do with this world. I don't have any karma. Nothing will work on me. But I am doing to set an example. And then Krishna talked about, you work like, see, the materialistic people get up very early in the morning, they'll start work, um, and then they will do, throughout the day work, right? But you also work like that, but keep me in your mind. Ma Manushmara Yudhyasvacha, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara. You do whatever you do, but think about me. think of me, do it in Krishna conscious mindset. That's what Krishna says. And then he was explaining, differentiating between how to, there will be people, how to engage the attached person. And we saw a lot of examples. There are two types of persons Krishna explains. One is who are so much attached to the results, and the second is who is um, who's detached and who offers the results to the Lord. And Krishna says, if you are a detached worker, if you are in that Krishna conscious mindset, you know, you don't need to force the attached worker to give up, the fruits of activity. You can just engage them in any activities, and slowly you set an example so that they also work like you without attachment. That's what Krishna says. And then, uh, Krishna goes into the further shlokas. Uh, excuse me. Okay. And then Krishna proceeds further. He talks about um, the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita, right? He says, Mayi Sarvani Karmani, offer all the results to me, and understanding um, your our constitutional position, and depend fully and surrender onto Krishna without any personal attachment, without any sense of false proprietorship, without any lethargy. You work. That's what Krishna says. I think we saw this sloka, very nice sloka here. Unto me, offer all the work unto me, and without any attachment, sannyasa, in spiritual consciousness, without any selfish desire, without any possessiveness. Just fight without laziness. And Krishna explains, he wants us to come out of these three gunas. Tamoguna means laziness, Rajoguna means full of desire, right? And Sattva means giving up the attachment. So Krishna wants us to transcend all this and then come to the Nirguna or Shuddha Sattva Guna, where we do everything for the pleasure of the Lord. And after that, what we saw was, and Krishna compared and contrasted those who does what I say now, that is the purpose of the Gita, they will not have any karmic reactions. They will not get any bondage. They don't get birth again and again in this samsara. Again, he says, but one who does not follow my instructions, they have to suffer. And then Krishna also explained, um, um, and Arjuna in a subtle way asked Krishna, but why do people don't follow these instructions? Why do people do not follow your instruction, Krishna? And Krishna explains, see, this is all because of the modes of material nature. Each one has the rajoguna, tamoguna, those type of gunas, and they also have, based on that, they have attachment and aversion. All these things, they have this tendency, and they are also under Maya, right? So the Maya is on the top. Maya acts upon us through these modes of material nature. That is Rajoguna, mode of goodness. Sattva-guna, mode of goodness. Rajoguna, mode of passion. And Tamoguna, mode of ignorance. So the Maya acts upon us through these gunas. And we develop these gunas based on our previous births and previous experiences in the past life and this life. We develop all these guna, and because of these gunas we act, we don't follow what Krishna says. We always think envy, we develop enviness. Oh, why, who is Krishna, why should I follow him, why should I follow his instructions? And or otherwise we don't do anything, like we are maybe in tamoguna, right? So Krishna says this is the reason. And and our Krishna also mentioned the people, if one does not follow this prescribed, duty, they will they are as if they are doing the sinful actions. They have to face the consequences. And then Krishna also mentioned to Arjuna, hey Arjuna, so you understand, you have to do your swadharma, right? As a kshatriya, you have to fight. That is your swabhava. You cannot artificially, take up a job of brahmana or sannyasa. It won't work for you. So whatever you are inclined to do, you do it. So that's where we left last week. And so after that, um, then Arjuna is asking, okay, Krishna, you said a lot of things, and the people are under the modes of material nature, and they don't follow your instructions, and those who um, do not follow your instructions, they do this. It's like a sin. And Krishna, I want to understand um, why people do the sinful acts. So let us start with this. Um, Today's session, let me do my prayers quickly. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmitam Yena Dasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaputare Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Nitya Namani Prabhupada Se Sahitame Prakashavitire Che Pracham Kutrana Sadhu Bhavat Padate Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaputare Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitya Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nirvishesha Shunyari Pashati Deshatarni. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. Does anyone want to repeat after me this shloka?
Yes, Prabhuji, I will. It's a long time.
Oh, sure, Mataji.
Mm.
Arjuna
Arjuna
uvacha
Arjuna Uvacha
अथ केन प्रयुक्तोऽयम्
अथ केन प्रयुक्तयम्
पापं चरति पूरुषः
पापं चरति पुरुषः
अनिच्छन्नपि वार्ष्णेय
अनिच्छन्नपि वार्ष्णेय
बलाद् इव नियोजितः.
बलाद् इव नियोजितः.
Thank you.
Arjuna said, O descendant of Varsni, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force?
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Now, Arjuna is asking a very intelligent question. So, Krishna, you are saying that those who do not follow instructions, they will have to face these reactions, and those who do not follow their duties, I think, they will have to face their actions to it. But Krishna, help me understand why people do these sins, right? People sometimes, most of the times they have a basic knowledge. They know it is wrong, but why they are forced to do it? If you ask a person who steals, he knows that committing a theft is punishable. It is it is illegal, right? But why is he still doing it? Right? We see a lot of things all around the world, right? uh, it's a basic. People even forget the basic etiquettes, and stealing, hurting, killing, right? And a lot of injustice, done to women, a lot of things. But in their mind, they know what they are doing is wrong, right? But in spite of that, they are doing it. And Arjuna wants to understand why they are doing it, right? So that is Arjuna's very intelligent question. Here, Varshneya is Krishna is from Vrishni Vamsa. So that's why he's also called as Varshneya. And and uh, and here Arjuna is asking, who is the instigator? What forces one to do sinful activities? Okay. So Arjuna's questions, why does one do sinful acts? And Krishna's answers, bad desires and anger. So we will see more on this. So as part of supreme as part and parcel of Supreme Lord, we are originally spiritual and pure and not subject to the sins of the material world. But when we are in contact with the material nature, one acts in many sinful ways, sometimes against his own will. So what happens is, initially, as I mentioned last week, we are pure spirit soul, very pure. We have a qualitatively we are similar to Krishna, but quantitatively we are minuscule. For example, if you take a drop of water from the ocean, qualitatively you can say that it is very similar to ocean, but quantitatively it is minuscule. It is very minute. Likewise, we are very pure soul, but when we come to this material world, right, that's when um, we get more conditioned. We want to enjoy. We want to be selfish. We want to do sense gratification. It is as if like, when the rainwater uh, comes to the earth, right? And it is pure, but when it touches the mud, it becomes muddy. But when it goes to the ocean, it becomes salty. When it goes to the river, it becomes tasty. Right? It's because of all this conditioning. That's what Krishna is going to explain in the future slokas. Okay. Calm. Okay. Spring. Okay. I think I am. Let me forget to add the notes here. Okay. Anyone wants to read after me?
I can try, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. श्रीभगवानुवाच
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
काम एष क्रोध एष
Kama Esha Krodha Esha
रजोगुणसमुद्भवः
Rajoguna Samudbhavaha
महाशनो महापाप्मा
Mahashano Mahapapma
विद्येनमिह वैरिणम्.
Vidyenamiha Vairinam. The
Thank you.
Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "It is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is the all devouring sinful enemy of this world."
Thank you, Mataji. So here, as I mentioned, it is because of the lust one has. There are Krishna talks about two things here: karma. Karma means lust, and we can also say it is a desire, bad desire, desire for sense gratification, desire to do it selfishly, desire for sense gratification extensively, and krodha. Krodha is anger. So here, Krishna is saying that he is giving the reason. Arjuna asked the question, why people are doing sinful activities though they may be knowing it. If you ask anybody who is doing sinful activity, they know they should not do it. But in spite of it, who is instigating them? That is Arjuna's question. So Krishna is responding, it is because of karma, lust, desire to be selfish or desire to for sense gratification or desire to enjoy alone that leads people to sinful activities. And the other reason is krodha. When they want to do sense gratification or when they want to enjoy selfishly, and when they have a greedy desire, if if somebody is putting obstacle, if somebody is preventing them to do it, they get anger. So if you see any sinful activity, anything that is happening in the world, you can just narrow it down to only these two things. Now, in fact, in the subsequent chapter, Krishna will say there are three gateways to hell. If one wants to go to hell, three things. Krishna is very clear on it: lust, greed, and anger. If one has a lust, if one has a greed, I want everything, and one has an anger, they will definitely go to hell. So Krishna here says that um, these two are the main reasons for uh, for people to do the sinful activity. Another question is, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath. So initially, as I mentioned, we are all pure soul. So in this world, in the 15th chapter, Purushottama Yoga, you will see Krishna says that this world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. Whatever is very pure in the spiritual world, excuse me, they are impure in this world. In the spiritual world, we add very much love towards Krishna. But when it comes to the material world, we develop lust towards everything else except Krishna. And why we are doing it? It's because of contact with the material nature. As I mentioned last week, so initially we were all in the Vaikuntha. We were serving the Lord, and it is said in Vaikuntha, there are different Vaikunthas. There are not one Vaikuntha, right? If you pray to, if you are a devotee of Rama, you'll go to a Vaikuntha of Rama. If you if your Ishta Devata is Narasimha, you'll go to the Vaikuntha of Narasimha. Or if you like, for example, Vamanadeva, there are different lot of Vaikunthas. And Goloka is when Krishna is there with his gopas and gopis and playing cheerfully. So we were in one of those Vaikunthas previously, but suddenly a question arose in our mind: why I can also be enjoy myself? Why I should serve Lord? So Krishna said, it's fine. I will create a material world for you. You go and enjoy as much as you want, but if you feel that it is not satisfying, you come back to me. But I really want you to come back, because the material world, you know no one can enjoy. It's always distressful. And then Krishna set up a material world, and then we came here. Now, as soon as we come here, as soon as we contact this material world, we get contaminated because of rajoguna, tamoguna, and sattva, right? So at least it's better to be in the sattva. So we get contaminated, and then over a period of time, Krishna saints, Krishna gives Bhagavad Gita, Krishna saints acharyas, Krishna says arvars, and lot of devotees, sannyasis, brahmacharis, to get ourselves purified, and then so that we can go back to God it. But many people do not follow that. So they keep further entangling into this material nature. The more we have a lust, the more we have a sense gratification, the more we want more and more, right? Right? It entangles us, and then it makes sure that we are in this planet, or we go to the lower planets or hellish planets, or we take birth in different forms. That's how it has been designed. So here Krishna is saying uh, this karma and krodha. So another thing is, this karma is um, uh, lust is sorry, okay. This desire, right? This lust is can also be called as passion, over passion. This is a rajoguna, right? So one will have a rajoguna full of lust, full of desire, full of greed, everything. But if that is not satisfied, then you'll get anger. So you'll fall into this is a mode of ignorance, tamoguna. So the acharyas explain, so we should not go down from the rajoguna to tamoguna. At least we should go to sattoguna, you know, be in the mode of goodness, and then we should go to the uh, you know shuddha sattva. Shuddha sattva, when you are in the Krishna consciousness. So we are in tamo, rajo, and then sattva, and no gunas, nirgunas, or shuddha sattva. Shuddha sattva is when we are doing devotional service, when you are Krishna consciousness. So in that mode, we will not incur any reactions, whether it is a papam or punyam, we won't incur. So the acharyas explain we should not go down to the tamo guna. We should from rajo guna. We should go to this sattva and this shuddha sattva by doing devotional service or by doing bhakti. Um, and you know, in this regard, um, we have to utilize this. We have to turn this lust into love. We have to turn this lust into love by devotional service. So if you ask any devotees or any sampradayas, right, the ultimate aim of devotional service is to develop love towards the Lord, because that is our constitutional position. As I mentioned beginning of the class, we had an eternal love towards the Lord. But when you come into the material nature, it is the way it is designed so that we have the opportunity to satisfy our senses, because that is what we wanted and we came here. But our constitutional position is to love the Lord. But if you develop one way or other by reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, associating with the devotees, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we have to turn the lust into love. That's what our acharyas explain. And one of the best ways, chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, right? And uh, yeah, this is out turning the lust into love and anger. Sometimes we may not be able to avoid anger fully, but here they say that even the anger should be utilized for uh, for for the Lord, right? Like for example, Anuman, when he was in angry, he burnt the whole city of Lankaburi, right? City of golden, city of gold, and but Rama was very happy because he has used leverage his anger to please Lord Rama. Likewise, Arjuna, Krishna induced Arjuna to fight with anger towards his relatives. Um, But however, Krishna was very much pleased with Arjuna's acts. So even if you're anger, right? Sometimes, even in the bhakti devotee circle, if somebody blasphemes or anything, people get anger. You should not blaspheme God, Krishna, or you should not blaspheme any devotees, right? So you channelize even the lust to love, anger for the, for the satisfaction of the Lord, right? In that context, I want to say one story. Ramanuja Acharya, once he was asked a question out of, we all know dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Being religious, following your duty. Artha means, and then getting stable, and then kama means, fulfilling the desires, and moksha means final liberation. And Ramanuja Acharya was asked once, they said, out of all these things, which one attracts you more? Ramanuja Acharya said, it is the karma that attracts me more. And everybody was surprised. They were expecting a sannyasi to say that he likes moksha. Right? And Ramanuja said, I did not mention this material karma. Right? What we all, in general, people as is a material karma, material perspective. Ramanuja Acharya says, it is Krishna karma. Right? That is the ultimate aim for everybody's Krishna karma, Krishna prema, right? And even if you see in Alvar stories that we have seen, a lot of Alvars, they turn them to Nayika Bhava and they love Krishna, Rama, right? Narayana, right? In the Bhava of a woman. So that is the ultimate aim, because there is only one Purusha, Purushottaman. Other than that, we have taken a different body of man, women, right? Otherwise, there is no gender for the soul. But if at all there is a gender for the soul, it is female for everyone, irrespective of uh, anybody, any living entity. So that is one thing. So another thing, this this karma or lust is also very difficult to control. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "We have everything uh, we have everything to satisfy everyone's need, but we don't have everything to satisfy one's greed, right? You know, there is a need, but we can satisfy the need, but we cannot satisfy the greed. Okay. Just want to highlight those things. And okay, let me move on to the next shloka. So when Jiva comes in contact with the material nature, the eternal love for Krishna transforms into lust, like a milk in contact with sour tamarind transformed into yogurt. The service attitude becomes propensity to lord over. So this is, we all have an independence, right? Krishna did not send us like Achit, right? He sends us, with our, we have our own independence. That is called as will, right? So though we sometimes act under the Maya modes of material nature, we always, so the Maya will induce us to make sinful acts, right? And we can easily fall prey into it. But we have a free will, right? We can make a good choice. That is why we have Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and all our, scriptures, shastras helps us to refer, hey, this is a situation, what can I do? We can ask the higher authorities, right? So when we misuse the independence and if we are just satisfying ourselves, we get punished. The purpose of material creation to give facility to the conditioned souls to fulfill their material desires and punish them for disobeying the Lord. Okay. Now we will see another important shloka. This is a good um, metaphor or analogy. Sorry, analogy. Okay. Dumina. Okay. Anybody wants to recite it after me? Kaushalji, do you want to recite it?
Okay, Prabhuji, I'll do it.
Okay. Let me split it. Dumina vriyate vanhihi yatha darsho malena cha yathol बेनावृतो गर्भस तथा तेने दमावृतम. Okay. धूमेन व्रियते वह्निः
Gumenavriyate vanyari
यथा दर्शो मलेन च
yathadarsho malenaka
यथोल्बेनावृतो गर्भस्
yatho benavrito garbhas
तथा तेने दमावृतम.
tatha tenedam avaratham.
Okay.
As fire is covered by smoke, as a mirror is covered by dust, or as the embryo is covered by the womb, the living entity is similarly covered by different degrees of this lust.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So Krishna is
Yes.
giving further explaining about the lust. The lust is a very, it's a root cause of a lot of problems in this world, right? And Krishna is further explaining how the lust covers one. So just like, you see a smoke, right? It covers the fire, right? And like in the mirror, the dust covers the mirror, right? Uh, Dhu means smoke, and Vanhi means Agni, and Adarsho means mirror, and Malena means dust. And likewise, the 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 baby in the womb is covered. The baby is covered by the womb. So this is a different degrees of covering of the lust. The first thing is um, smoke is covering the fire. This is little bit lighter. Sometimes you will still see the fire, right? When you start the fire in those days, right, with the twigs and everything, initially it will be covered by smoke. But if you fan it over a period of time, the smoke will go away and you can see the fire. This is applicable mostly for the humans, right? We have, at least in all the religions, everything, we have a little bit of God consciousness, But if you are in touch with the, Shastras, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and at least, associated with the devotees, there is a more possibility that we can fan the spark in us, spark of bhakti in us, and we can remove this smoke. And the next comes the dust over the mirror. This is also not, this is a little bit medium effort, but this is more applicable, for example, animals and beasts. Uh, you know, they can also remove that, this lust by purifying the consciousness, but it will take time. The animals have to come to the human form, and then they have to adopt, the bhakti to revive their consciousness. Sometimes, it said, you know, the animals do, human form is when one get an opportunity to do bhakti, and it is like a trampoline, right? When you jump on the trampoline, you jump high. Likewise, the human form is when you get an opportunity to do bhakti and go back home, go back to Godhead, Vaikuntha. But in the other animal forms, we cannot do that. But still, there is a chance that they can come to the human form, and then uh, they get an opportunity if they are fortunate. And the other thing is, there are something like it so happened, you know um, in our sampradayas in general in India, the uh, what we eat, right, the remnants of the Lord is called as prasadam, but the remnants of the Maha devotees, exalted devotees, acharyas, sannyasis, exalted devotees are called as Maha Prasadam, right? They have a very purifying things. Once when Ramanuja Acharya was had honored the prasadam, and then there were a few food particles on his fingers, and he washed them in the pond, and his associates, they were seeing the fishes are all turning, and then they are going up. They are going as if to the Vaikuntha, and they were asking, what happened. Somebody explained, the acharyas explained that it's because these fishes eat the remnants of Ramanuja Acharya, and all those fishes, only we accumulate karma. The animals do not accumulate any karma. For example, even if the lion kills a deer, lion does not accumulate any karma. So they don't have any karma, but they got an opportunity of eating the Mahaprasam, then they will go back home, back to Godhead, right? It is also said, um, it happened in, I believe, in Alvar Tirunagari. Um, there was on Divya Pramadam Shloka where a dog will go and eat one of the remnants from one of the exalted devotee in Alvar Tirunagari, and immediately it will pass away. It will go back, and they will see that it is going back to Godhead. It takes a different form and go back um, to the spiritual world. So that is about the animals and beasts. At least it is not too difficult. But the last one is the womb. The baby in the womb is so much struck up, it cannot even move. It is very difficult. And the examples are trees. Trees, it is very difficult to revive their consciousness. Let me, okay, I just put, so embryo in the womb, the, the consciousness is compared to the trees, all right? And the degree of lust is very high, and the chance of overcoming is very minimum. Um, and for the mirror, it is covered by dust. Examples, consciousness of the animals, and the degree of the lust is minimum, and the chance of overcoming is medium. But the fire covered by smoke, their consciousness is compared to human's consciousness, and the degree of lust is slight, and chance of overcoming is maximum. So that is why, when we read Bhagavad Gita and those scriptures, we can revive our consciousness easily if you're fortunate, and and go back home and back to Godhead. That is what this shloka tells. And also, if you see, the the more they lust, the more the offspring. Now, if you see the insects, right, insects and bacteria and those things, the more they have lust, they will reproduce like anything, thousands and millions. But the less they lust, the the less they reproduce. For example, the insects and everything, as more or less, they produce a lot of offsprings. But when it comes to animals, like for example, the puppies, they may yield 12 puppies at 5, 10, something like that. They are less. But when it comes to human being, people may beget, one or two children at a time, and in those days they beget more. They have some lust. But there are also Gandharvas, Devatas, in the higher spiritual world, they will beget only one children. And when it goes again above, they won't even beget any children. In the spiritual world, nobody has any lust. They won't even beget children. That's just a comparison. Um, okay. So we have one more shloka and we'll wrap up this part. Anybody wants to recite this shloka?
I can, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Avritam jnanametena
Avritam dhyanam
jnanino nityavairina
jnanino nityavairina
kamarupena kaunteya
kamarupena kaunteya
dushpurena nalena cha.
dushpurena nalena cha. Person's pure consciousness becomes covered, thus the wise by his eternal enemy, in the form of lust, O son of Kunti, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire.
Thank you. So here again, Krishna is reiterating the root cause of all the evils in the world, lust, over desire and everything. And here, this one covers we have a pure consciousness, right? As I mentioned, pure consciousness. We are all pure soul, but when it is covered by lust, right? We forget Krishna and we tend to do sinful activities. That is what the Acharyas explain. We always want to realize our soul. We first need to understand that we are the spirit soul. And once we understand the spirit soul, the next thing is to do devotional service to the Lord through chanting, offering flower, garland, offering, bhoga to Lord, everything. We have to revive it. But here Krishna says the lust covers a pure consciousness, which is never satisfied and which always burns like a fire. In the fire, if you keep adding fuel, it'll keep burning. Likewise, when we have a desire, if you keep having a desire and again, lust having again and again, if you satisfy it, it will never go away. So the acharyas explain the best thing is to stop fueling it, to stop the lust in us, so that over a period of time we will real our pure consciousness. The best way to stop the lust is to stop feeding it and let it die. And these are some of the characteristics of the lust. It covers the consciousness, and it is never satisfied, and it burns like a fire. Right? We see in the world, right, a lot of wars and everything happen because of lust. They are attacking neighbor country, they are attacking and killing, people innocently. These are all due to the lust. So, human life is an opportunity to rekindle the fire of love for Krishna. One can conquer lust by cultivation of Krishna consciousness under proper guidance. Okay. Okay. Shall I take 10 minutes to go over the Periyar War story, Vishnu Chittar?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So we have been studying the Alvars. So Periyarvar is a great Alvar. He is the father of Sri Andal or Godai, right? He was a Brahmana, and he was called as Vishnu Chittar. Vishnu Chittar means who is always Krishna conscious or Narayana consciousness. His mind is always fixed in Vishnu. Now he was from Srivilliputtur in South India, Tamil Nadu, and he had a he had a garland. Sorry, garland. He had a garden where every day he makes garland for the Lord. Vadabhatra Sai, a Perumal, or uh, and so this also he got motivated by. There is a story in Krishna's pastimes where when Krishna went to Mathura to kill Kamsa, he went to a shop. He asked a shop garland shop, and then he asked the person, "Can you give me a garland?" That person was so happy, and then he offered the garland to Krishna without even hesitating, and Krishna was so happy, and that was mentioned in Bhagavatam. So this Vishnu Chitta Periyarvar heard that story, um, and then you want to please the Lord. So he said, I'm also going to make garland and I will myself and I will offer it to the Lord every day. So he did it. And if you see a lot of people, the exalted devotees in those days, in all wars as well, a lot of all wars and devotees, they used to make garlands for the Lord themselves and then offer it to them. That is one of the best way to please, because Krishna or Narayana, they are all Alangara Priya. Alangara Priya means they like to beautify themselves. They like to be decorated. And if you go and offer something, yeah, just a flower to Krishna, Radha Krishna, if you decorate them, if you have a deity, if you decorate them, even for a photo or picture of Krishna, Radha Krishna, if you decorate them, they'll be very happy. That's why Krishna is the Alangara Priya, and Lord Shiva is Abhishek Priya. He always liked to be Abhishek. Wants Abhishek. I think yeah, it is some people jokingly say I don't. Shiva does not know whether the Archakas will do Abhishekam to him. That's the reason he has uh, goddess Ganga in his head so that he can always take shower because he likes it. He likes to be bathed or he likes the Abhishekam. So the Vishnu Siddhar, he made for garlands daily for the Lord. He saw the service as the highest form of worship. So that is why, bhakti is itself called as a devotional service. In one word, in our language, it is translated as devotional service. So it's not like now when you go to the temple, we always ask this and this. When you go to the temple, if you just look at the Lord, if you just look at the alankaram of the Lord, that itself will be very pleasing and be in the present moment. And because Krishna knows what we want, right? We don't need to clearly explain to him. So this is very important. And then one day, the Pandya king Vallabhadeva, he had conducted a philosophical context to determine the supreme truth. So you met a person. In those days, the kings used to go around the city in the night and see what is going on in a disguised look. They put some versions, right? And then they go and he met one person who was in a Tirtha Yatra, and he asked the Tirtha Yatra person, what did you learn based on going to the different temples? That person said, see, we always need to work in the morning for the night. We also work in the summer and spring for the rainy season. Likewise, we have to work hard. We have to do the right thing in this lifetime for the next lifetime. And then he left. So Vallabhadeva was confused. So what should I do in this lifetime so that I'm comfortable in my next life? I always save money for my retirement and everything, right? But I didn't thought about my next life. What should I do? And he did he announced a philosophical context to determine what is the next step. What should he do? So Vishnu Chittar, um, Lord Narayana, Ranganatha, I believe Vadabhadra Sai, he came to Vishnu Chitra's mind and a dream. He said, "Oh, okay, Periyar, Vishnu Chitra, you go and take part in the debate." Vishnu Chitra said, "That's a big debate, you know. I have to quote a lot of Vedas and Shastras and Vedantas, everything." Narayana said, "You don't worry, you go." And at the same time, Vallabhadeva's minister also got the same dream. He said, "Hey, minister, you go and invite Vishnu Chittar and let him take part in the philosophical contest." So Vishnu Chittar came to the um, courtroom, and then uh, there was a porkri. This called as bag of gold coins, and it was hanging in, and a lot of people debated, and then Vishnu Chittar's turn came and he walked, and then he was explaining with a lot of evidences in Shastras, Vedas, that Lord Vishnu or Krishna is the supreme personality of Lordhead, and worshipping him, right? It doesn't even need to worry about the next life because you won't have next life in this material world. You will have a life in the Vaikunta, right? A lot of people do a lot of things in this world. If you one is very pious, he will take birth in a aristocrat family, right? And then he has to again suffer distress and everything has to go through it. But when one does devotional service to Lord Krishna or Vishnu, it doesn't even worry about the next birth. He will go back home, go back to Godhead. He established that. So Narayana is the ultimate reality. So he was, and then suddenly, as soon as he said that the bag of gold coin, it was cut automatically and it fell on his, lap hand. And then Vallavodeva announced he is as a winner. And then he wants to honor Periyar. So he made a procession. He made Periyar to sit in the on the top of elephant for a procession. And then when he started, you know, Lakshmi Narayana wanted to see his devotee, wanted to see his kid, right? His child. Periyar is being recognized, is being honored, is being glorified. So they came in the Garuda, right? And Vishnu Chitta got a special power. And at the time, he was able to see Lord Narayana with Lakshmi and Garuda. So normally people, right, if they see the Lord, if comes, they will have a list of items to get fulfilled. And even many of the Arvars, they always want moksha. They always want to get out of this world. They always want to go to place of no worries like Vaikunta. But Vishnu Shitnar is not like them. He's different. That is why he is called as Periyarvar. Periyarvar means, I think, great Arvar. Of all the Arvars, is the Periyarvar, means top or great Arvar. Because he is a different mood. He is a different bhava. When everybody thinks that Lord is great, more powerful, he thinks Lord is Sukumara, Lord is soft. My Krishna is very soft. Um, he has written a lot of Divya Prabandhams. Now, these are Prabandhams where he considered himself as Yashoda Mayi. He is in the mood of Vatsalya Bhava, and he will write the slokams for pasurams for Krishna's birth, naming ceremony, bathing Krishna, asking Krishna to come and bathe, asking Krishna to come and eat, waking up Krishna, putting kundalam on Krishna. He has written fully considering Krishna as his child in the Yashodamayi's bhava. So he always considered Krishna as so soft. So as soon as he saw Lakshmi Narayana, he was shocked. He has come to this terrible world, Kali Yuga, where if somebody, they can put their eye drishti, right? And it may affect the Lord. And then he started, composing Tirupallandu. Tirupallandu, I think if you see in Vishnu temple, you'll see that shloka, Pallandu, Pallandu, Pallayirattandu, Palakodi Nurayiram, Mallanda Tintol Manivanna, Un Sevadi Sevi Tirukkapu. That pasurams, you'll see it, it is being recited in all the Vishnu temples all over the world, no matter what. So that is written by him. He is uh, he is wishing a long life for Lord Vishnu. He wants Vishnu to be protected because he considered him as Sukumara, soft. That is what he has written. So that is the reason, um, it is like for Ari, whenever the Vedas are started to be recited, people always say Ari Om, and then when they complete the Parayana, they will end it with Ari Om. Likewise, when they chant the Divya Prabandham, they will start with this Pallandu and end with this Tirupallandu. It's like a Om for this Divya Prabandham, right? And so Vishnu and Lakshmi appeared on Garuda and blessed him. Overwhelmed, Periyar sang the Tirupallandu, blessing the Lord himself. A unique act of love where the devotee prays for the well-being of the Lord. So that is his quality, and that is why he's called as Periyarvar. And is one of his, all his slokams or pasurams are very nice. And one of his famous things that is quoted for Sharnagati is that he will say, "Apodaki podis," and then he will say something like this. He will say, "For later, at the time of death, I don't know, Krishna, whether I will be able to chant your name. But now I am in a good state. I can chant your name. So I'm chanting now itself, right? I don't know what will happen there. But for now, I'm saying now and I'm surrendering it to you. Because at the time of death, people will be in pain or they may not be in consciousness. They may not be even knowing how to chant, or they may be forgetting the Lord. He says, I'm doing it now, I'm surrendering it now. That's a very famous quote. So it talks about a lot of things in all those pasurams. So by the way, he is the father of Sri Andal, as I mentioned. So next week we will talk about Sri Gota or Godai or Sri Andal with a nice story. There are a lot of things um, in that story. Let me wrap up here. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Uh, Mataji, so Prabhuji, do you have any realization? Do you have any comments? Do you want to, Priyanka Mataji, Kaushalji, Pranitaji, any
Nothing
takeaways
much.
from this session today?
Yes, Prabhuji. Basically, the three things lust, greed, and anger are the ones that make us commit sins. So we need to be mindful about those things, is what I understood, and
Yeah.
not encourage them or entertain them. Mainly lust. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Kaushalji, Priyankaji?
Yes, Prabhuji, I too like those three things that you said in the beginning. Act of laziness, which I
Mhm.
can, relate myself to, and then being too much materialistic and doing things selfishly. So those three things, yes. And this story was also very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll discuss more on Andal story, which is even more interesting.
Yeah, because I had no idea about these stories.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are 12 hours in the south, and it is said that they are all Sri Vaishnava Sampradayas, and because of them, the Vaishnava Sampradaya, you know, spread like
Yes.
anything.
Hmm. It's very interesting to know.
Okay, Mas, thanks. Kaushalji, how about you?
Same, Prabhuji.
Okay. Anything that you want to add, Prabhuji?
No, Prabhuji, I don't think so.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Pradipa, you want to say anything?
Hi Krishna, this Periyalva story is very impressive.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, if nothing else, thank you very much for your time. We will again meet next week. We will wrap up next week for sure this chapter. We have only 5 more shlokas. I will wrap up next week. And I will also share the very interesting story of Sri Andal Godai. who is none other than the Bhuma Devi or Bhu Devi, born as the daughter of Periyarwa. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Please, whenever you get some time, please chant the holy name. Holy name is the only protection in this Kali Yuga. It gives it creates a protection layer for us. It helps us to be in the mode of goodness and more than the mode of goodness. It helps us, as you mentioned, to control the greed, lust, and anger, which Krishna says as the gateways for the hell. Okay. Please chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This is the Yuga Dharma for this Yuga. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your association, and if I made any mistake knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive me. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.